So I'm on the hunt for a new shotgun microphone. I've been using this Rode VideoMic Pro Plus for a long time and I love it, but there are a couple of new options that I want to try out and see if they're going to be a really good shotgun microphone. So the first contender is the Rode VideoMic NTG, and the second one is the Deity D3 Pro, which is actually what I'm recording with right now. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some comparisons between these two shotgun microphones and also include a lot of sample video audio. And we're going to swap between the Deity, which we're using right now, and then partway through, I'm going to swap it out for the Rode. So why use a shotgun microphone at all? Well, it's the #1 easiest way to improve your audio, because on most cameras, the internal microphones, they work, but they're not really that great. And if you use an external microphone like the Rode or the Deity, you're going to improve your sound by 100. This is an audio test of what it sounds like just using the internal microphones with my Sony a7R III. And this is an audio test with the Rode VideoMic NTG and the fuzzy windscreen on it. And a lot of times people are more willing to watch a video that isn't really great visually, but if the audio is good, then people will stick around. So audio is something that you should really care about when you're doing video. So how do you use a shotgun microphone? Well, in most cases, they are plug and play. All you have to do is put that shotgun microphone on the top cold shoe or hot shoe mount of your camera, turn it on, plug it into the camera, and just start recording. It's really simple and easy to use. There's also one other step you might want to do before you start recording, and that is to go into your camera and just set the audio level to 1 or 2. Just make sure it's really low, because again, the camera itself is going to try to record audio or just have its way with audio, and it's usually not the best way. You want to make sure that you give as much control to the external microphone as you can. Next, shotgun microphones work best if they are as close to your subject as possible. In this case, the Deity is like right out of the camera frame, like right above my pinky here. So you want to make sure that it's pretty close, usually not more than an arm's length away. You'll really notice if you walk further away from the microphone that your audio quality will get worse. This is more than an arm's length away from me. The gain I think is still set to 6, and we have that wind muff on, which is good because it is pretty windy. I can feel it. It feels really good. And so without that wind muff, this would probably sound pretty awful. But yeah, this is what it sounds like. And if I get even closer, which probably doesn't look very good on camera, but the sound probably is a lot better now that it's directly in front of me. And as I go further, to here, I'm even further back, like really far, and so probably still okay sound, but definitely not as good as being right in front of the mic. So in this sense, it's best used when you're going to be doing a static talking head video and not moving around very much. Or if you are moving around, you have to have a camera operator to physically move the microphone or the camera and the microphone along with you as you move. If you plan to walk around and do like a walking tour or a vlog, it's better to use a wireless microphone system such as the Rode Wireless Go 2 or the Saramonic Blink 500 Pro. We've talked a lot about both of those microphones in this channel, and I'll leave a link in the description below to those reviews if you want to check those microphone systems out. And my final tip for shooting with a shotgun microphone is to use a furry windscreen, which is also known as a dead cat. And so this is a little puffy thing that goes over the microphone, and it will probably make people comment and ask you what it is, but essentially all it does is protect the microphone from being hit by the wind. So it eliminates a lot of the wind noise. This is a sound test with the Rode VideoMic NTG. This has no wind muff, no foam windscreen, so it probably sounds really awful. This is an audio test with the Rode VideoMic NTG with a foam windscreen on it. And next we're going to test it out with this puffy windscreen. And this is an audio test with the Rode VideoMic NTG and the fuzzy windscreen on it. This is probably going to give us the very best audio quality because this is blocking out a lot of the wind. So now let's talk about some of the common features between the Rode and the Deity. And for this, I've actually swapped out the microphone, so now we're recording on the Rode VideoMic NTG, and here I have with me the Deity V3 Pro. So first of all, these are both super cardioid directional microphones, meaning that they're going to pick up sound wherever this microphone is pointed. So if you're standing in front of it and speaking, it'll pick you up really well, but if you're standing behind the microphone, then it's not going to pick you up very well. Next, both microphones are battery powered, and they're rechargeable via USB-C. The The Rode has 30 hours of battery life per charge, and the Deity has 51 hours of battery life. Both microphones also have high-pass filters of 75 Hz or 150 Hz. These filters are really good for cutting out low-frequency noise, such as traffic or fan noise or hums in the room, so really nice to use in certain situations. But just be aware that if you go to the maximum of 150 Hz, then that cuts out your bass, so you may only want to use that in extreme situations. Next, both microphones have a stepless gain control in the back. There's a dial that can help control the gain, and this is very different from my original Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, which does have some gain control, but it does it in 10 decibel increments. So with these stepless gain knobs, you can really dial down your gain to, single decibels, so it's really good for accuracy. And if you don't know, the gain controls how loud the input of a microphone is. So it sends a louder or a softer signal to the camera as you control the gain. So right now I have it set to, I think it's +6. So this is what it sounds like. This is typically what I have to use when I'm shooting indoors in the studio, but I don't know actually how it affects outdoor recording. So we're gonna boost it to its maximum. So the maximum can be 10. So this is what it sounds like with the gain boosted up to 10.
I really like that dial control in the back. It's very cool.
Okay, so now the gain is set to 0. We're not sure if that means it's off or if it's, how exactly that affects things. Now, generally speaking, it's good to start off with a gain of, say, 10 and adjust it based on how your subject is speaking. If you can, it's best to monitor the audio through headphones or at least look at the audio levels on your camera to help adjust the gain and figure out where it should be. For me, I'm usually between a gain of 6, 7, or even 8, depending on the environment. Both microphones also come inside of a shock mount, and this is really good for reducing any noise in case the microphone gets hit. You can also take the microphones out of the shock mount if you'd rather put them in something else. Another feature of the shock mount that I really love is this cold shoe mount that can be loosened, and you can actually move it around. So you can move the mic a little bit closer to the camera or further from the camera, and it's just a really nice feature that I haven't seen on a lot of other shotgun microphones, and I really want to see it on future shotgun mics. And the final similarity is that both microphones come with these thin windscreens, and you can also purchase an optional wind muff or a dead cat. And again, if you're planning to film outdoors, you really need that dead cat. So even though it might cost a little bit extra, I would go ahead and pick that up anyway, just to give you some more flexibility whenever you're shooting. And now for the differences between these two microphones. For this segment, I swapped out the mic for my old Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. Let me know if you can hear an audio difference. But I did that because I wanted to have both the Rode and the Deity in the frame so we can compare them side by side. The very first point of comparison is the price. There's a pretty big difference. The Rode VideoMic NTG goes for $250 while the Deity VMic Pro goes for $199. So pretty big price difference. But one reason why the Rode might be priced slightly higher is that it does have a few extra features that the Deity does not come with. The very first feature is the one that really sold me on the Rode, and that is the ability to use the Rode not only with a camera and a mobile phone, but also with a computer or an iPad or a tablet. You can plug this in via the 3.5mm mic jack to use it normally with a camera, or the USB-C port also functions. So I plug this into my computer and I use it for my Zoom calls or my video conferencing, and it really does improve my sound. And I also use it as an occasional voiceover mic by just plugging it into the computer. And if I am using the USB-C output to connect my microphone somewhere and use it as an audio source, I can use the 3.5mm mic jack on the microphone to plug in my headphones so I can monitor the audio as well. So that's a really nice little feature that Rode added. The Rode also has a high frequency boost. So this is really good for enhancing the clarity of your audio, especially if you're using that windscreen or that dead cat on top of the microphone. And finally, the Rode also has an audio peaking warning light that turns red whenever your audio is getting a little too high or at risk of clipping. So if this happens, you have a couple of options. Number one, you can enable the -20 pad or the safety track on the microphone, or you can just go over to your subject and ask them to lower their voice a little bit. And when it comes to the Deity, unfortunately, they are lacking those features that I just mentioned that the Rode has, but it comes in at a much lower price, and it's also physically longer. If you look at these two microphones side by side, the Deity comes out by, I'm not sure how much that is, like a little bit under an inch. So that could be really helpful depending on the situation that you're filming in. So at the end of the day, which microphone is best and which one will I be using on a regular basis? Well, I'm actually going to be using both microphones because they're both excellent quality, and to me they each have features that the other doesn't. Number one, the Deity comes in at a lower price point, so it's more budget friendly, and its battery life is almost double that of the Rode. So that's really nice for Deity. However, when it comes to the Rode, I also appreciate its extra features, such as that high frequency boost and also that audio peaking warning light, because that can come in really handy whenever I'm doing a professional shoot and I have to make sure that my audio is being recorded properly. And I also love the flexibility to use this as a video conferencing or a podcasting microphone. So generally speaking, I'm going to be using this Rode whenever I need to plug into a computer to make my sound better or to do occasional voiceovers. But I will be using the Deity whenever I'm out in the field and just need a little bit of extra battery life. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, if one of these microphones is better than the other, or if you like another shotgun microphone that I didn't talk about. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.